Holy crap. Uh, so I saw Avengers Endgame this morning. I took my 9-year-old son and my 5-year-old daughter, who I was amazed sat through the entire movie. Only asked one time if it was almost over. So, and she asked several times during Captain Marvel, so if that tells you anything. This movie was, a 3 hour and 20-minute epic. It was the longest MCU film we've had, and I'm so glad that they left what they left in it. I'm betting this was an even longer cut originally. The director's cut was probably 5 hours long. But it needed to be this long, in my opinion. So if you can't tell already, I absolutely, thoroughly enjoyed this film. It was a beautiful ending to this now 11, 12-year epic story that we've gotten from all of these MCU films, 22 MCU films. God, there's a lot here to unpack, so I guess I'll just kind of go through the movie a little bit and talk about what happened. I don't want to go too into detail because then this video will be an hour and a half long. If you want to hear more about this, though, we will be reviewing it on our podcast. Myself and my friend Justin, we have a podcast called the Pod Shit Nerdcast, which I upload the videos, I upload the podcast here to YouTube and also everywhere you find podcasts. So check that out if you want a seriously in-depth review. That'll be up next week after he gets a chance to see the film. So, let's start from the beginning. So, we started out the aftermath of the snap from Infinity War. And one of the things, like, right off the bat that I thought was cool and I was not expecting, although maybe I should have because of the scenes of Ronin that it showed in. But they... Okay, so it starts off... They find where Thanos is. And they're like, we're going to go track him down. We're going to get the gauntlet back. We're going to fucking get the stones. And we're going to somehow try to reverse this shit. So I was not expecting this at all. The first 20 minutes of the film, they track down Thanos and fucking kill him. They kill him. Well, they find him and they find out that he has destroyed all the Infinity Stones. He has used the stones to destroy the stones. His journey was over. He completed his mission, and that was it. He was successful and happy and knew that as long as the stones were around, people would seek them to maybe try to undo what he's done. So he destroyed them. So that's a huge fucking letdown for the Avengers. They track him down. They find out that the stones are gone, and Thor chops his fucking head off, which is what he should have done, in the first film. But it was made to be lackluster. He's like, there wasn't much gratification in it because all their friends were still gone, and they kill Thanos, and they just say fuck it. They go back. And this is the Avengers, including Captain Marvel, who was there now to help. I didn't even mention the beginning of the movie. She is the one who rescues Tony Stark and brings him back. So then they decide to go kill Thanos and blah, blah, blah. I just told you. So then they decide, there's nothing we can do. We fucking lost. So they head back to Earth. And then we get a 5 years later scroll across the screen, which that was the thing that I was not expecting. I was not expecting this movie to take place that far ahead in the future. I thought maybe 6 months in the future, after the snap. I didn't realize it was going to be 5 years, but that was an awesome touch. Like I said, I should have seen that coming because of how much different Cliff Barton was when they found him in Japan killing a Yakuza boss who is also from the comics. I thought that was a cool little touch. Anyway, so for 5 years, they just mourn the loss of these people and they try to get on with their life, but it's like, it's just devastating. You know, they're devastated. Their friends are gone. Half the people on Earth are gone, and they're trying to find a way to live with it, and they're not succeeding very well. Everyone's very depressed, very depressing, and then we catch up with Ant-Man. If you remember Ant-Man, if you saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, he got caught in the quantum realm at the end of the movie, and the people who were supposed to bring him back were snapped out of existence. So he was stuck there for 5 years. However, for him, it was not 5 years. It was only like 5 hours. So he gets back, and he's like, what the hell? And his car is like in some impound lot, and he wakes up in he comes back into his car in this impound lot, in this garage, and he's like, what the fuck's going on? He goes outside, he realizes it's been 5 years. He realizes that half the people on Earth are gone, and then he goes searching immediately for his daughter. He's looking to see, you know, was his daughter still alive? And she is still alive. He finds her, and that was the first time I cried in this movie. I just couldn't help. I have a daughter. She was there with me, and man, father-daughter scenes really get me. Like, even father-son scenes too, but man, like, there's a special relationship between father and daughter, and he finds his daughter, and she's 5 years older. He's missed 5 years of her life, and to him, it's only been hours. You know, it's crazy, and you know, they're crying, and I'm crying. Like, I'm a mess. So, Ant-Man figures, hey, I can use the quantum realm. We can go back in time. We can fucking go back in time and change this shit. So that's what they do. Like, he goes and he convinces the Avengers to come back together. Oh yeah, and Tony Stark now has a little girl with Pepper Potts, and he's actually, he didn't make out too bad. Like, all his friends are gone, but he's got this wonderful family that he never had before, and he's afraid he might lose it. He's afraid he might fuck things up and lose the family that he has. So he's reluctant to go back in time, but he eventually agrees. So they all come together, and they go on an epic fucking journey through time. And dude, if you make a movie about time travel, fucking take my money. Just take my money immediately, because I'm always all in for time travel. I don't care about inconsistencies. I don't care about plot holes. I don't care about time travel. You know, it's like, time travel's weird anyway. And they explain away a lot of time travel. I'm glad they mentioned it, that time travel doesn't work the way everyone thinks time travel works. It's a little bit of a cop-out, but it's whatever. It's like, no one's ever actually traveled through time, so we don't know. So they can do whatever the fuck they want. So a lot of people I saw complaining about plot holes and you know, problems with the time travel shit in the movie. Listen, fuck those people, okay? Because they don't know what it's like to travel through time. And I'm just glad that they explained it at all in the movie. I think it's great. Anyway, I'm always down for time travel. You throw in my favorite fucking comic book characters. Goddamn, I can die right now. This is like the greatest thing ever. So they go to different periods in time because they need to retrieve soul stones, and they have a rough idea of where the soul stones are in different periods in time. So you got one group of people going back to the 70s. That's Tony Stark and Captain America. They go back, and Tony actually reunites with his dad in the past. It's really cool. Then you've got a group that goes to Vormir, where the Red Skull has the Soul Stone, going there. And you've got a group going to 2012 to the Battle of New York, and then you got a group going to 2014, the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then you've got Thor going back to Asgard in 2014 during the Dark World. So you've got stuff going on from all of these different films. It was a great way to pay, respect to all that has come before. That, I think the time travel in this was a brilliant idea. So you've got, let me just tell you, when they catch up with Cliff, before they decide to do all this, Cliff is now like very vengeful son of a bitch. He lost his entire family in the snap. He's got nothing to live for, and basically he's an assassin named Ronin, hunting down fucking bad guys and killing them. And then you've got Thor has fucking fallen off the wagon. I didn't even know he was ever off the wagon in the past, but whatever. Now Thor is a fucking overweight drunkard. It's fucking hilarious. Thor has a giant beer gun they have to convince him to fucking to leave his life of fucking lazy luxury and come help them. You know, he's in a depressed state. He lost every fucking person important to him, and he just doesn't give a shit about life anymore. So it's pretty funny. The whole movie, he has this big fucking beer gut. So then we also catch up with the Hulk, and the Hulk is now Professor Hulk from the comics. If you know anything about that, he's a hybrid. He's not this crazy, dumb fucking beast, and he's not just this little scientist. He's a mix of the two. So he's this very intelligent, giant beast. And, God, it's my favorite version of Hulk so far. I absolutely loved his character. So, I don't know. I might be leaving some stuff out, but basically they get everyone back together. Okay, also, when they're back in time, in the 1970s, so Tony Stark meets up with his dad, gets a little precious moment with him, and then Captain America actually sees Peggy, who, is his long-lost love, who died of old age in a previous film, and God, like, he would do anything just to stay with her, but he can't. He's got to complete this mission, so, yeah, everyone's all over the place, but here's the fucking kicker. The 2014 version of Thanos finds out what the fuck they're doing. Like, he finds out that, in the future he's gonna win, and these people are back in time to stop him, and he figures, hey, this is and yeah, so they all stones, and they fucking Black Widow had herself, just like Thanos had to sacrifice his daughter in Infinity War. She had to sacrifice herself in order to get the Soul Stone from Vormir. So she's gone. So you get a lot of characters. Dude, every character you've ever fucking seen in an Avengers film was in this goddamn thing. It was so fucking epic. It was so great the way they found a way through this time travel idea to include all of the shit from the past, including fucking Jane Foster, just all these side characters. It was fantastic. Thor's mother, like this, it was great. It was fucking. So yeah, they go back to all these different time periods and they collect all the soul stones and they bring them back and they make a new fucking gauntlet, a fucking Tony Stark Iron Man gauntlet, and the only person who can wield it is the Hulk, because it would kill anyone else. So the Hulk puts it on, he snaps his fingers, it brings everyone fucking back to life that died. Everyone that got snapped is back. However, Thanos is fucking there, waiting, and he fucking attacks Earth right at that moment, and they're battling back and forth for the gauntlet. He's got his entire fucking huge army there, and it's looking pretty fucking bleak. Like, they're beating the shit out of the Avengers. And then every fucking other good guy comes to the rescue. Every other fucking person who was snapped is now snapped back, and they all come to the fucking rescue, and they're fighting Thanos to the fucking death, and it's back and forth, and they're trying to get the gauntlet from him, and he's trying to get it from them, and then eventually he fucking gets a hold of the gauntlet, and him and Iron Man are throwing down, and right as, like, Thanos puts it on, Stark grabs the glove, Thanos pushes him off, and then he snaps his fingers, but Stark had actually removed the stones from the gauntlet, and now had them in his fucking Iron Man glove. But we all know that before we talked about the gauntlet was too powerful, and only Hulk could bear the fucking brunt of this snap, and Tony Stark sacrifices himself by snapping and in turn killing himself. So Iron Man is no more, and they have and the snap basically eradicates all of Thanos and his army, and yeah, so it doesn't erase anything about, like, time. Everyone knows what happened. Everyone is aware of what happened. It doesn't reset anything, which I don't know what I think about that yet. We'll have to see how the other movies play out. But yeah, so no more Iron Man, and then also we've got Thor decides basically to retire and let someone else take his throne, and he's done being the God of Thunder, and he's just gonna retire now. He's glad that he brought these people back, and he's just done fighting. And then we go to Captain America, who his job is to go back in time again and return the Soul Stones. This is at the end of the film. Return the Soul Stones to where they were in time, so as anything from like any of this shit from happening. He goes through time, comes right back. A couple. They expect him back a couple seconds later, but he doesn't come back. And then they see this old man sitting on a bench, and it's Captain America. When he was in the 1970s, which apparently that's where he decided to go last to return the stone, he decides to stay there. He decides to stay there with Peggy Carter and live out a meaningful, happy life with the woman he loves. And he's now an old man, and he hands his shield over to basically who will be the new Captain America going forward. And it's not who we all thought. At least not who I thought. I thought it was going to go to Bucky. I thought it was going to go to Sebastian Stan's character and Winter Soldier, and that he was going to be the new Captain America. Like years ago, he had leaked in an interview that he was going to be Captain America. But no. Anthony Mackie is going to be the one to carry the shield from now on. And that's Falcon. Falcon is now going to be the new Captain America, which I thought was an interesting twist. Like, I was looking forward to seeing Bucky with the shield, and maybe we'll still see that down the road, I don't know, but he's already been in a ton of movies, so who knows. But, yeah, Falcon is the new Captain America, so, look, all in all, I know I just gave you the fucking 10-minute synopsis, 15-minute synopsis of a film, but what I really thought of it is it was a beautiful and perfect end to this long, epic journey that we've all been on. It's sad to a point where I'm almost like, I don't know whether or not I should be excited about movies going forward, because I'm not sure if anything's ever going to be like it was. Like this, I'm worried that going forward, people are going to look back and they're going to say, oh, those first 10 years were the fucking good years. Those were the good years. Everything else is meh, after that. But those first fucking beautiful 10 years. Because, like, how can you top what they've done? You can only hope to be as good. There's no way in hell any of these movies going forward are going to be any better. But they can hope to be as good or close to as good, and they would still be epic films if they're even close to as good as this group of films was. All in all, this has never been done before. An epic 22 movie fucking journey all to one point. We've never had anything like that in the history of fucking cinema. Not like this. Not like this. So I absolutely loved it. I'd love to hear what you guys think. Please leave comments below. Go ahead. Spoilers galore, okay? Because this is the spoiler warning for people who don't read the comments if you haven't seen it. But if you've already listened to this video, you know everything that happens. So hopefully you saw it and didn't spoil it for yourself by watching this video. Please leave comments below. I would love to have a huge discussion about this film. Did you any plot holes? Like, go ahead, spill it out. I'd like to hear it now. But I'm telling you right now, you're not going to change my opinion that I absolutely loved this movie. I think it was a fantastic end to an epic fucking journey. If you enjoy videos like this where I talk about movies, TV shows, comic books, nerd shit, pop culture, anything like that, please subscribe for more. That's what I do here. I just bullshit about whatever I want to bullshit about. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, subscribe for more. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.